Hi, this is the tutorial of how to run the sound system at Bourbon First United Methodist Church. This is what it should look like when you get here. The first piece is turn on the main power, which is in this cabinet down here. The switch is up underneath, right there. On. Don't have to touch any of this. That should all be ready to go. So that's the main power. When that comes on, that turns on the matrix switch, which is this, which runs all the stuff that goes to the TVs. So you can't turn the TVs on or send content to them unless you turn on the main power switch. It also turns on the soundboard and everything else in there. So this is how I normally get things fired up on Sunday morning. So first I'll turn the computer on. The computer's under here and its power switch is right there. And on it comes. I usually set this thing in the door in the summer when it gets too hot, and that way it gets airflow while it's turned on. And it blows through there. So that's turned on. Two of the microphones usually come on automatically, and this one doesn't because it's not plugged into the same power switch. You have to turn this one on. And this one runs the pastor's lapel mic, and these two are the handheld wireless ones that you can carry around with you. So turn the computer on. Computer's up now. The keyboard and mouse are wireless. Make sure they're turned on, like the switch here. And on the mouse, on the back, there's a switch here that says it's on, and these were left on. That's fine. They kind of go in hibernation. Doesn't use too much power. So now that they're on, the computer is ready to go. You just click on it once to log in. The login is BFUMC 17. So, turn that, BF. Oh, password didn't great. That was not the password. Maybe it's FUMC 17. When I think about it, that's what it was. FUMC 17. All right. Now you're logged in up here, and we're ready to go. So that turns the computer on. And I usually turn on the camera, and the camera switch button is right here. So hold and wait for the light to turn on, and the light is on, and then it'll light up here in a second. Or it should. You just have to press and hold. There it goes. Now we got it, and once it comes on, it's back here. I press this button on the back where it says set once, and that gets rid of the screen text. And that's what we want for when we're doing video. So it's ready to go. To move the camera around, you just turn this a little bit, and then it frees it up, and you can move the camera wherever you want. And then turn it back to the right, locks it in. Okay. Now we're ready to bring up Wirecast, which is how we broadcast all of our stuff. So that's this top icon in the top corner. There it is. Double click that guy. And it'll come up here in a second. Maybe. Did I not double click well enough? There it goes. It's a little slow. Sometimes you get two of these if you do it too fast. This is just the default screen. We don't use that one. And then you have to come over here and click open and pick BFUMC broadcast and click open. There it goes. And that's got all of our settings. That's normally how we look at it. Or you just click cancel on this guy. This one doesn't matter. That's all. And now you've got, this is the screen for the camera showing up there. And down here you can switch back and forth. Down here you can do different scenes. You can go to a welcome message screen, or this one, which is the video. Usually that's the one we go with, is the one that's video on there. Oops. And if you click on one of them above, you got to click over here on the black section to turn it back off. So there it goes. It's kind of a top-down system on here in Wirecast. So now we're on the video screen. If you want to show what's being projected onto the PowerPoint screens or the big screens in church, you click this one over here. Do that. And to make that live, this is the preview window. This is what the live window is. You click this right arrow. And now whatever was on the preview, it says right here preview, goes to live. And if you want to go back to the camera view, now it's the preview, and click the right arrow, now it's live. That's the main thing to do with Wirecast. When you're ready to start recording, you click this Wi-Fi symbol up here, right there. Click that once, it'll turn green, or it should turn green, and then you're broadcasting. You shouldn't have to change anything. It should all be set up and ready to go, unless someone fools with it, but no one will. And then once it's going, you'll see data over here. It'll show you if you're dropping frames and so forth, and it has a red, yellow, and yellow, and green icon, which shows if you've got bandwidth problems. We haven't had any trouble with that in the last couple months, so it should be okay on that. All right, so that's Wirecast. That's one piece, and then the next piece is to get PowerPoint going. And so this is the PowerPoint. This is the one from last Sunday right here. So you would download these or bring them on a flash drive or log into the Front Porch Google account and download it. This one's already on there from last week, so I'm just going to start it up. And so there's PowerPoint ready to go. And then when you're ready to put it up on the screens, actually we need to turn the screens on first. So get your PowerPoint and get it ready to go, and then we'll turn the screens on and show you that. So the remote control for the screens is down here. One of them has more buttons on it, and that's for the DVD player. That's that guy. Don't grab the wrong one. And so they all use the same on-off remote. And once you've turned the system power on and the soundboard is live, now you can use the remote control. So these are the remote sensors for all of the 3 monitors in the sanctuary. And so you just take your remote control and you point it at that. You got to kind of hold these so they're little glass eyes looking at you so it can see the remote. And then just push the on button once. And then if you look up at the monitors, they turn on. All right, so all 3 should come on through there. And that's the 3rd one. There we go. Okay. So, but this thing only works if this box turns on, which only turns on when you turn on the main power down here. So, and you can't shut them all off together unless this main power is also still on through that. So just remember that. A lot of times at the end of service we forget turn that off first, and then we can't get the TVs to go off all at once. And then you've got to walk around and point this remote at each one of these little TVs. They don't come on with the other ones. And they won't show much. That one came on. They lag behind a little bit, so don't freak out. Okay, once the TVs are on now, we can present our PowerPoint view. And so down here, this is your presentation button right there. Click that. It always wants to throw it up over here on this screen, which I hate because that's the screen I put Wirecast on. And now you can see it's broadcasting the first slide onto the screens through that. So I minimize this guy up here in the corner and then resizing. And then drag him over to this side, which for some reason always gets big again, so then you got to go through all this again. Come on. And I like to do that. So, get it sized up there. This way, if you need to make a change to the PowerPoint slides in the middle of service or right before service, while you're already broadcasting this image up on the screens, you can just jump back over here to PowerPoint, make the change, and save it. And once you save it, it automatically pops up in the slides you're presenting. So it's a little laggy when you do it that way because it's thinking too hard, but it works. And so that's usually how I set things up. And then on this side will be the Wirecast. So it usually looks like this. I got Wirecast over here, ready to go, and then I've got the PowerPoint there. Wirecast, I click, it's set up that at 10 minutes before the hour, 10 minutes before 11. It's programmed in our live stream system that we have an event on Sundays, and it's already pre-programmed, all that's ready to go. It usually at 5 till, at 10:55 is when I click this broadcast button and get this going and started. And then as soon as the service is over, as soon as the benediction is out, I click it and turn it off. It doesn't really matter, I guess, when you shut it off, but that just keeps the files a little shorter after that. Okay, so that's that part. Soundboard, this is how we normally have it set up through that. We don't use this one at all anymore. This is the this one is the left lectern up there. That's the left lectern where the liturgist stands, is this sound. This is the pastor's wireless microphone, which they have on their head in the wireless. Pastor Rob gets kind of loud, so I keep him a little bit below that mark on there on the notch through that. And Kenneth kind of starts soft sometimes and then gets loud, you never know, but that's usually about the right place for that. This one marked keyboard is the keyboard. This is the one Kenneth plays. I usually keep it about here, about halfway below that original mark, because the thing gets pretty loud on there. So these we don't usually touch. These are microphones back in the choir room. Over here is the right lectern. Back when we had a right lectern, or the pulpit, it's now Kenneth's microphone, which is right there above his keyboard. So that's Kenneth, when he sings, that's his volume there. If he's not playing or singing, I usually turn these off because they put a little hum into the system. You can hear, well, if he's got the keyboard on, you can hear it through that. Okay. Over here then, where it's labeled 2 and 1, these are the wireless or cordless microphones through there. And so that's their volumes there. I usually keep them as kind of high. Kenneth kind of shouts into it, but everybody else, when they get handed the microphone, talks too quietly. So that's kind of hard to hear. The blue one is the computer out volume. And so if you're going to play video on the computer and you want to hear it through the sound system, this is what controls that volume. If I know there's going to be a video, I leave it just a little bit up so that we don't have to guess and see if we're going to get volume off of that. And you also have to make sure that the volume is turned on over here in the corner. Whoops, where's that? Right here. So if you don't hear anything coming out of the speakers when you turn on the volume for that, look right here and make sure this is turned on. If you click this, you can mute it. And this is fine where it's at now, about 33, I guess. We just make sure this is turned on, because sometimes we mute that just to make sure we don't accidentally make computer noises that then get broadcast out into the whole, for the whole population to hear.
That was the first praise
and keep that.
And we'd like for the words to be up there.
And so this is the volume then for the computer. And it's the cordless. These are the main volumes. This is the main volume in the sanctuary, and we usually keep that right there at that pink diagonal. And this is the volume for the overflow area. They complain a lot of times they can't hear well, so we can usually boost them a little bit higher. With the new speakers set up, they seem to hear better. This last slider is how loud we broadcast onto Wirecast. And so when we were broadcasting through Wirecast, if people were kind of quiet, we turn this all the way up. When we've got loud music, we bring this down. And what I look at over here is when we're talking on it, you'll see a green line here, which is your volume on this side. I tried to make sure it never goes above this white dot through that. And so if it's up real high and about to pass that white dot, then I turn down this slider here, which reduces the volume. That's what people are hearing on the broadcast through that, through out there. Okay. Any other questions?
I'm not speaking because if I have someone, that's,
Okay.
I want to make sure I know if I'm sending